Hey there, y'all. Welcome. Today, my guest is Dr. Stephanie Shepard, also known as Mrs. Prater.
Yes. Perfect.
Exactly. And full disclosure, we went to college together. We're both from Arkansas. So if we have too much fun or get too Southern, this is your warning.
Right.
So Stephanie just finished up my 4-month program, and we wanted to have her on to give like all sides of the perspective. So Stephanie, tell the people how much weight you lost.
None.
Dun dun dun. Oh my God. So I just told her before we came on to record, Stephanie is eligible for my money back guarantee. And she may change her mind depending upon how this conversation goes. But so far, she hasn't taken me up on that, which implies that you got something out of it. And first off, I appreciate you coming on and talking about this because this is everybody's big fear. They're like, well, I don't want to spend the time, money, and effort and risk failing again.
Right.
So tell me about
Okay.
that.
So I feel like I should start by saying is that I've always been athletic
Mm-hmm.
and been told I was skinny, like when I was younger. And now, like as an adult, I'm just normal, right? But after having 2 kids, being about 50, my body is like growing and changing in ways that I was not comfortable with. And what would happen is I was like, oh, maybe I should like eat a little bit better or a little bit less. Maybe I should exercise a little bit more. But my time is really, really divided between work and kids and life that I didn't ever concentrate on anything for very long. And so I'd lose like maybe 5 pounds and then I'd gain back 7
Mm-hmm.
like a month later.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just incrementally getting a little bit bigger and feeling less comfortable. And for me, the weight was not the biggest like immediate issue. The biggest immediate issue is my strength and my ability to move my body around because I have a kid that needs full support, as you know.
Yeah.
That she has no purposeful movement. She uses a wheelchair and she's 40 pounds and she's only growing because she's very healthy otherwise.
Yeah.
um, so I was getting nervous. And so I had learned about what you were doing and I asked you about it. And I think I said at the beginning, I said, if I don't actually lose any weight, that might be okay. And I did actually. So I feel like I should remember I did lose weight. Like I did. I lost like 8, almost 10 pounds. And then I've had really stressful things going on at work. And I went on vacation and I ate everything in sight and didn't do any of my rules for myself, my personal rules. I even violated like my non-program rules and just like ate everything in sight, drank alcohol, the whole works, and came back and was like, had gained it all back. So the good news is that was, I think, about 2 to 2.5 months in. But then what we have done since then is I was very honest with you. I was like, yeah, I messed up. And so then we kind of reset my plan. And then what we have done is help me implement my plan. And I'm sticking to that. And I bounced down a little bit, but I actually technically probably have lost now a little bit of weight again.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm about where we started, but I haven't gained more.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, to some degree, for us to be almost 50 and just stop gaining weight
Yeah.
is a victory for a lot of people. Right. And most of my clients, the people coming in, they say, like, yeah, right, I'm advertising weight loss. That's what the money back guarantee is for. And if you ask most women our age why they want to lose weight, if they're being super honest, it can be a little bit like societal pressure, like wanting to look cute in shorts. And that's fine.
I want to look better in pictures.
Right. Exactly. That's totally fine. But if you really get beneath that, they usually will say, and the bigger issue is health. Yeah. This I really feel like is a pivotal age where you kind of, and we're already starting to see it, right? Like you go to a high school reunion or a college reunion and you can tell, you're like, wow, so is Bob a heavy drinker or like what happened there? Like it's already starting and it only gets more so. So I definitely feel like even if all we do is kind of maintain our strength, increase our good habits, right? Yes, we're coming in to lose weight. And also, if our primary goal is health, getting those good health habits in place has value. So I know right before we started recording, you were kind of talking about, because it's been a couple of weeks since we finished up. So you were kind of talking about what has stuck with you. There's some areas where like you got kind of messed up and you're going to get back on track. But can you talk a little bit about, as you look back over the program, what did you get out of it? How did it help you?
So the other thing, I think I've told you this already, is that like I've been in counseling and therapy because my life is a little bit stressful. And while that is useful for a lot of people, I wasn't getting out of that what I was looking for. What I was looking for was like a self-help book, except I don't want to have to read the book.
And as you can see, I have all the books this side. There
so
we go.
you were my self-help book where it's like, okay, let's talk about different strategies that you can do to make this fit in your life, to address your health, so like, silly things. I have a PhD. I should know this. You made me put exercise on my calendar. So I'm actually doing it. Now I have it on my calendar 3 days a week, and I have done it at least 2 days a week, even on my stressful weeks.
Yeah, that's a win.
And sometimes more than 3, right? Yeah. The other thing is like, you made me think about, like we talked about my lunch plan, because I'm on campus and there's all this bad kid, like teenager, college student food available to me. And it's like, don't go there. Just make a plan to bring your lunch and stick with it. And then the really cool thing that happened, and because of stuff you made me think about and some of the strategies you gave me, I am a nail biter. I have bitten my nails since I was like in 4th grade. Through most of the time we've been working together, I haven't been biting my nails.
Yay.
Because it was just having like some awareness of what I was doing, and then having a strategy for, okay, what do I need to do to not do this?
Yeah. Yeah. And it was the biggest thing there, the EFT, or
yeah. The tapping.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it just sounds, I remember you even said to me at one point, you're a scientist, this might feel woo-woo. I'm like, it's okay. Like, if it works for me, it doesn't matter what else is going on, because it's not hurting anyone. If it's benefiting me, I might as well do it. And so like, a place I bite my nails a lot is sitting in the car. Because I have to drive, I have to pick up kids, I have to sit at the train. There's a train that goes through town. I swear I catch it every time. And so if
like that combination of stressful and boring,
and I'd start to be like this, and then I'd be like, okay, no.
Yay.
Like, instead, and it kept me from doing it.
So good. So it kind of gave you an outlet for that kind of like fidgety, stressed, and
whatever
bored.
fidgety thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And a good one too, if the people
just like
the other car, if the people in car pickup are starting to stare, you can just,
well, and actually it's hard to do this one with your seatbelt.
Exactly. But yeah, just that collarbone can be really, I do that all the time because I'm the same way. I'm like, okay, like, come on, change. I'm running behind. Like, okay. Deep breath. So you feel like you've been able to start working out as part of the program, maintain that going forward, fewer bad lunches. And before we started recording, you were talking really about like some things that you'd noticed about what kicks off some of the not so healthy behavior. Can you tell folks about that?
Yeah. So me eating, like, I love cheese dip. So me eating lots of things with cheese, lots of cheese dip, or I also really love ice cream, is completely like, when I have a stressful day, I'm like, I'm gonna reward myself. I'm gonna go have a milkshake. And I have not actually done the milkshake thing in months, like since when we first started in the summer, because I was like, that's like something that I don't need. I don't need a milkshake. It actually gives me
boys in your yard.
But it gives me a stomachache anyway, like to eat a giant milk. So I don't need that. So I have not done the ice cream thing. I've taken my son loves ice cream. I've taken him for ice cream, and I didn't have ice cream because I was like, that's gonna make me have a stomachache. I'm not gonna have it.
Yeah.
And it was fine, and I didn't miss it.
Right. Yeah.
I miss caramel sauce, but if I really need caramel sauce, I can have like a little piece of chocolate with some caramel in it.
Yeah. Maybe put it on an apple.
Ooh. I hadn't thought about that. Darn it.
My my health coach said caramel sauce is health food.
Because I ate it with apples.
Don't take that away from this. But if you're going to have it, right, like throw it on
Right.
an apple. Or like you said, if like a small amount of chocolate squares with the caramel in the middle, chocolate is my jam too. So kind of realizing, oh, I was using food as a reward. That
For surviving.
is, yeah. And that is incompatible with the goal of health, not having my weight creep up. So that makes sense. And then tell the people, because we've just had Halloween. So tell the people how the Halloween candy, because that's usually an annual drama for people.
Well, and I'm a college professor, so I have, well, you can't see it.
Oh, it's fuzzed out.
I have the bucket of Halloween
We
candy.
get the idea though. Yeah, it's probably it was fuzzed out for our safety, so we don't have to see.
For my students, because like my husband bought 2 giant bags of Halloween candy, and then there's a big event that happens in our town that most people go to, but we still have Halloween candy, but our neighborhood's not cool enough, so we only had like 8 trick-or-treaters. We're not in one of the real fancy neighborhoods. The fancy neighborhoods apparently have like 200 trick-or-treaters.
Wow. Yeah, that's changed since we were kids, but anyway,
and then of course we did go trick-or-treating with the kids. They also brought things home from school, and I am one of those people like, oh, bag of candy, and I'll just start eating it. The time that I ate like 15 of the little boxes of Milk Duds. That has happened in recent history. But I think in one sitting, I haven't eaten more than 2 or 3 pieces of candy since we had the Halloween candy in our house starting this weekend.
So that's a big change from having been through the program, is now you can have 2 or 3 pieces of Halloween candy and I'm like, away.
It's the just being real and like thinking about it rather than just like having it in the background and just eating it. Same with biting my nails. It's the thinking about it, like giving me the again, things I probably should have been able to figure out as an adult on my own, but apparently I needed help. But just like taking the time to be like, okay, yeah, I don't really need that. I don't really want it. It was just there.
Yeah, it's really good. So a little bit more awareness, mindfulness, that kind of thing. I'm also looking back at my notes from when we talked last time. Oh, tell the people, because I know in the past you had been a dog walker and then you kind of got busy, got out of it. So the dog is very excited about the results from this program. I'm assuming. Tell the people about that.
Yeah. So during the pandemic, we were very much, everyone was at home, and our old dog had passed away. So we got a new dog. And every afternoon at 4:00, we'd drop what we were doing and walk the dog because we were all there. And then everyone goes back to work, and the dog still gets walked twice a day, but I was not doing it. My husband was doing all the dog walking. And I was like, you know what? I just need to start taking back over the dog walk at least half the time, because if nothing else, park a little farther away on campus, walk up the stairs, don't take the elevator, and walk the dog. So at least I'm moving my body every day in a deliberate way. And so one of my exercises that I've put on my calendar is I'm on kid pickup duty on Monday, and then I usually would go down to the basement of our house and do more work. But instead, most days I'll do like 15, 20 minutes of dealing with email, whatever. And I put on my tennis shoes and comfy pants, and I take the dog, and we go do like 2 miles. And I try to walk fast, and there's hills, and I try to walk the hills.
Yeah.
So he loves it. and now, because lately he hadn't been getting walked until 5 or 5:30. So now at 4:00, no matter who's home, it's often the babysitter. He's like, hey, walk.
It's so good. First we train them, and then they train us. They enforce the training.
So that's, and then, now that it's cooled off a little bit, we're trying to get back to, at least on the weekends, is that every afternoon it's a family walk. Everyone goes, and
that's nice. So you feel like some of the results from our work together are spilling out and helping the rest of the family as well?
Yes. So, because honestly, those dog walks were great, especially during the pandemic, where as adults, you kind of need to reset. And so we can do those walks, and then our son will be like, quit talking about stuff with each other. Talk to me.
Oh, yeah.
We would, kind of reset and talk about whatever was bugging us or busy at work. But Callum will be like, no.
So it's a good way to kind of unplug from work, transition into home mode.
He
And
wants to tell us about goblins or dragons or Minecraft.
yeah, yeah. Well, and this is such a like problem. I was going to say of the modern family. I have been told, as someone who does not have children, I'm not allowed to have opinions on this. But so let's not say family, but even as a couple, like my husband and I, everyone is so busy. Everyone is on the screens all the time. A lot of times we don't get the family dinners that used to be the time that we would talk. Because even if everybody's either running because their schedules don't match up, or they've got like, you're fighting with them about TV being on and screens and that kind of stuff. So for my husband and I, we have it scheduled 4 days a week that after work we get together, we go walk around. And that's kind of when we do like the, how was your day? What did you do today? And it is a really good transition and a time to reconnect.
Yeah.
Because while it's possible, it's much harder to walk and be on your device the
whole
time. So it kind of pulls us out of the devices. And we have it scheduled 4 days a week. We don't do it 4 days a week, but by having it kind of scheduled Monday through Thursday, then if we miss a day, it's like, it's okay. We're still getting a couple in. And I wouldn't tell somebody to start saying we're going to do this every day, right? Like start small, like we're going to do, 5 minutes once a week, but building it into the schedule. Then if you miss a day, it's no big deal. Like I'm still getting, like you were saying with having 3 workouts a week scheduled. Well, if you miss one, you still get 2, which is 2 more than you were doing before.
Exactly.
So those kind of things help. So I guess kind of the takeaway that I am hoping people pick up, because everybody is so terrified of like, what if I do the program and I don't lose weight? A, you're eligible for the guarantee. B, you might actually get a lot of good habits installed that you can use carrying forward for the rest of your life that are going to, right? Like, you might not lose weight, but you might improve not all your habits, improve your habits, improve your health. That's actually a good question. Have you noticed any from the changes you've made? Are there any like non-scale victories, any changes that you've noticed?
Yeah. So, again, this is kind of a work related thing, but, some of the talking through like why I was eating and what was stressing me out and encouraging the bad eating made me take a step back and go, okay, so what at work can I care less about and just put aside and put on the shelf? And so I have practiced that pretty hard this fall. And I've felt less behind. In fact, I am less behind because then what's the right, perseverate? Is that the big word, the big $4 word or whatever? But, I don't sit there and worry about what I haven't done, because that stuff, the stuff I don't need to do, I just put it over there. Because we just talked through it and I was like, I don't have to worry about that because it's not under my control, even though I wish I ruled the world.
I know. I totally agree. You and I should be in charge. Yes. Things like I have a list. The first thing we would do away with, in my opinion, is this whole time change thing.
Yeah, it's stupid.
So stupid. Why are we not in charge?
But it's this weekend too, isn't it? Oh, dang it.
Exactly. You're welcome for the reminder. Yeah, we've been talking about that. Like, and again, the dog is not convinced. The dog's like, I know what time it is. You can't fool me. But yeah, kind of pulling back on the things we can't control, right? Like bad things are happening in the world, but real talk, if we're not going to fly there or donate money or write our congressman, just being upset about it, it feels like we're helping. It doesn't
help anybody.
Help. Yeah.
Doesn't help you.
So either take the upset and turn it into action, or let go of the upset and be like, okay, I can't fix the Middle East, but
right.
I can grade this stack of papers and get that off my list.
Yeah. I'm a little bit behind in grading now, but not really. Like this is the first time in many semesters that I didn't just let things snowball. So I don't know if it's you or I'm just learning finally after being a professor for 10 years, 11, 12 years.
It's my YouTube channel. Let's give the credit to me.
Yeah, it's all Lisa.
Exactly. Exactly. No, but I mean, and this is true with everything I'm doing. My job is to help. My job is to help people, like, again, get some perspective. Two heads are better than one. Look at different angles, have different tools. And also, at the end of the day, you're the one getting on the bike.
Yeah.
You're the one using your discernment to say, what do I have control over and need to focus on? What do I not have control over and need to, like, release some of the caring about? So you're the one who's actually implementing it. So you get a lot of credit. And since it's my YouTube,
you get the other part. You get the other half.
Exactly. All right. So I did not prepare you for this, Panic, but tell the people why your hair is purple as kind of your little wrap up. Yeah. Like, I always, if people have something they're, a business or something there, some cause, I like to give them a chance to talk about that. So tell the people why your hair is purple.
I mentioned that my daughter is in a wheelchair. The reason why she's in a wheelchair is she was born with a little piece of her X chromosome missing. Just happens. It's the fluke of biology. And it turns out that little piece of the X chromosome that's missing is necessary for proper brain function. It's called CDKL5, and she has CDKL5 deficiency disorder, and it's intractable epilepsy. So November is Epilepsy Awareness Month, and the color for epilepsy awareness is purple, which I happen to love purple, which helps. And so for the past couple years, she's almost 6. For the past couple years, I've been getting a little bit of manic panic and just putting some streaks in my hair. It washes out in like 3 weeks.
Just in time for the end of the month.
I'm only cool for a couple of weeks, but then people ask me about it like you just did, and I get to tell them about epilepsy. And it turns out that 1 in 26 people will be diagnosed with epilepsy. 1 in 10 people will have a seizure. So having a seizure is not epilepsy, but when you have multiple seizures, and whether there's an explanation like CDKL5 or not, that is epilepsy. And most epilepsy is treatable. We happen to end up with one that's not, unfortunately, but I've learned a whole lot about brains because I'm a geoscientist, right? I study dirt and water.
Yes.
Learned a bit about brains. I've learned a bit about genetics, all sorts of biology stuff I never thought I'd have to learn about.
Yeah. Fantastic. All right. So if somebody wants to learn more about epilepsy, what's a good resource?
The best organization is the Epilepsy Foundation because it's a broad organization. They're across the US, and they also have really quick trainings for epilepsy first aid.
Oh, that seems like something
super simple. You can do it online in like 15 minutes. Well,
and you said 1 in 10 people are going to have a seizure. So the other 9 of us might want to do that.
Yeah.
And we don't know which side of that equation we're going to be on. So it'd be a good thing to look into. And that's, I'm sure, Googleable. Yes. And for those of you who are watching, who are thinking about hiring a health coach, lisaduke.net is my website. I do have some spots open now for new clients. And then I know a lot of folks are looking towards January. So my encouragement would be start now. Then you will avoid the holiday weight gain. You'll have your good habits going into January. But if not, be around in January because there's going to be a lot of special things going on as well then. So thank you so much, Dr. Stephanie, for your time. And thank you all for watching.